G'day everybody, welcome along to the Daily Debrief here for your Friday night. Don't worry, we will incorporate whiskey into Friday like we always do. So of course we've got Ped, we've got Blake, and we've got special mystery guest that you can see that you're just going to pretend you can't see for the next 2 minutes while I do my special effects hands, just to make sure. And of course, May the 1st, you know why May the 1st is a cool day, eh boys?
Yeah, bro. Hard.
Because it's the anniversary of the opening of the MGM Studios part of Disney World in Florida.
Yeah,
there you go.
From America, isn't it? MGM.
Yeah, it's my one. Yeah, where they're all, I think they're all pretty much. And in fact, we're going to go to near Disney World later on in the show. So around about half an hour away, we're going to go and speak to Daniel Vidot. Of course, you'll remember him scoring many tries for the Raiders and some other clubs. But now, of course, he's a WWE wrestler. And then we have our super special mystery guest that you're pretending that you can't see right now is joining us from Sydney. But there's no behaviour issues today, are there, Blake?
Nah, no, everyone's been good. Everyone's been good. All right.
Okay, well, let's go to Ped. What do you think, Ped? Should we bring in our guest to be a part of this? Because I feel a bit...
Yeah, bring him in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robbie Farah is with us. How good's that?
Yes.
Coming out of Sydney. We will be talking about 24/7 events very soon and also having a look at Robbie's whiskey. But what are you up for us, mate? Go.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
Right. I suppose, Robbie, it sort of shows the difference, between dudes that are highly paid at teams and dudes that own teams, like what they turn their nose up at.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy money when you think about it. And when you compare that to what our boys are earning out here, it's I wish I played a non-contact sport for billions of dollars. That much.
No, it wasn't, mate. No, it was, you saw the Detroit Pistons, but it would have been you. You would have loved that.
I put them on a footy field. Let's see how long they last. Hey.
Right. Mate, so what's going on? What's going on in Sydney for you? Like, give us the state of life as in Sydney right now. Like, what can you, what can't you do? What's life being like?
Yeah, only today they started to loosen the restrictions actually, which is pretty good. So you can have 2 visitors in your house now, whereas before you weren't allowed anyone in your house. And we still get out and about. You go for your daily exercise, your daily walks. Obviously, all our gyms are still closed. Restaurants and cafes are closed. Where only they're open for takeaway or delivery. But yeah, I'm missing that the most, to be honest, because I was retired from footy and all I was doing was sitting at a cafe for 3 hours every day, having about 4 double shot flat whites. So yeah, I miss sitting there with my mates and socialising. But yeah, I think we've done pretty well over here to flatten the curve, and I think we've been quite lucky, and life will hopefully get back to normal as quickly as we can. So. And obviously the NRL starting up soon by the looks of it, which will be good to sit back and watch some sport on our tellies.
What are your thoughts on that, Faf? Like about the NRL? Do you reckon it's going to start on time, or what about the disputes going on now? Do you know anything we don't?
No, well, they're saying today that they've settled all that, the pay disputes and stuff. And I was a bit, when they first announced May 28, I was kind of had a little laugh at it. I was like, oh, you're dreaming. But they've got permission from the governments, and I saw today actually that the Queensland teams are allowed to travel now on game day, so they don't have to relocate to New South Wales. So they'll stay at home. Yeah, so that's a big one too for them. So it looks like they're getting all the approvals that they need, and it's all systems go.
I don't know much about rural New South Wales, so if I said to you, "Hey man, apparently I get to stay in Tamworth for 20 weeks," is that exciting news for me?
You're from New Zealand, so no, just joking. Oh, mate, I don't even know if I've been there to country music. I'm guessing. I got no idea, to be honest. But Yeah, look, that's massive from the Warriors when you think about it. You know, for them to pick up and relocate, you know, away from family and stuff for that long is a massive sacrifice, and hopefully Tamworth can turn it on for them. make it feel like home.
Yeah, I like that.
Was that Singy that just walked past?
Yeah, my housemate just got home from work.
So is that safe to say you're still single?
I am still single, yeah.
The lads
heard it out here on the air. On the air.
Okay.
Anyone following Australia, New Zealand? There you heard it.
There you go.
Still single, struggling.
Actually, just before we get into that, while we're saying the word single, why don't you take us through some of your single malt that you've got there? Because a couple of weeks ago, we turned Friday night into whiskey night. So
yeah.
What's your passion? You're saying you like the Japanese ones?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of my Japanese ones. What I got here too, you guys might be impressed. I don't know if you've heard of Sullivan's Cove. Let me grab this one. So this is a Tasmanian whiskey, and if you do your research, I don't know if you boys have got Google in front of you.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do that.
This actually got voted the best whiskey in the world.
Oh,
really?
Yep.
Wow.
Sullivan's Cove.
What does that set you back?
Yeah.
This was they had 3 different blends. This is the American Oak single malt. I think it was about 500,
Sure.
5 or 550 for this. So I was down in Tassie last year and went down to their distillery and tried out all their whiskies and picked myself up a bottle of that. So hasn't been opened yet. I'm saving it for a special occasion.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Nice, mate. It's gonna have to be real
that's
special.
cool. Look at that.
$500.
Yeah. So Sullivan's Cove. So
Jesus.
best whiskey in the world apparently.
What's your usual go to when you're come home, hard day's work?
Yeah, we like our Glenfiddich.
Nice.
Glenfiddich. Bit of Shivers is always good value for money. And then my Japanese ones, yeah, I'm big on my Japanese whiskies.
Why the Japanese whiskey? Is it smoother? Like I've never tried a Japanese whiskey.
They're just real smooth. So I don't like mixing my whiskey with Coke or anything. So just straight on the rocks. So yeah, just nice and smooth, mate.
We had we had a fare from the Jefferson bar on the other last Friday, and he was teaching us a bit of stuff. And it's interesting you should mention the idea of mixing good whiskey with Coke and stuff. And he was like, when you want to respect the amount of work that has gone into making sure that this whiskey is the way that it is, the amount of time, the amount of effort, it's got a certain call to it. So that type of calling card from the people who have made it. You're kind of just ruining it by going and mixing it with stuff. But then also taught us that water could open it up. What was something about the dragon? Yeah. Something letting the dragon breathe or something, and that was amazing too. So learning all these.
That was quite deep into the interview by that stage. I wasn't taking a lot of information in, and my face was numb, and it was just quite.
Blake was flatlining by that stage. He was.
Blake had flatlined.
It's quite a intricate process, making it and stuff. I've actually got a mate who he's actually he's just starting to build his own whiskey distillery down in the Southern Highlands here in New South Wales. So. And he's spending like millions of dollars. He's just bought acreage and, on the big casks that you put them in and everything. It takes years to get your return. Like obviously, you got to leave your whiskey there to sit for 10 or 12 years before you can drink it. So he's spending millions of dollars. He's just a whiskey fanatic and he loves it. So
do they do
Look at that! Look at that! In New Zealand, Sullivan's Cove, $676.71. Jesus Christ, Robbie Farah! Look at that! You got top shelf,
mate. That's going to be something.
I told you
that's
for that special occasion, actually. So that's something.
Yeah.
Let me grab my phone.
Are we talking married or?
Oh, yeah. I'm waiting for you to find me one, Ash.
Oh, mate, nice. I've been locked up for too long. I don't even know how to talk to
girls. Kiwi girl.
Yeah.
Do they like Lebanese boys over in New Zealand?
Oh, the King of Lebanon. They like the King of Lebanon. Hey, what you've been all around the world doing drinking and all that, you've been traveller. What's the best place you've been to party? Ask all the athletes and everyone that comes on. Like you've been to Lebanon.
Yeah, Lebanon's actually crazy. I tell all my friends about it. I guess you talk Lebanon, you talk Middle East, and no one thinks, party. But you go there, and Lebanon's actually like some of the best nightclubs I've ever been to. It's almost like you're in Vegas. So I'd love to take. I've always said to the boys that I'd love to take a group of lads over there to Lebanon and party. I don't know, mate. I'm in Bali twice a year, so I like kicking back in Bali. I love England. I was in the UK late last year for the business. I went over for 2 weeks, and mate, we had a ball there. The north of England, they're just real down to earth people. They just love a good time. They're similar to us Aussies and Kiwis. Where everyone loves a drink and loves a good time. And so it got dark at like 4:30 in the afternoon. So there's nothing else to do other than just sit and have a drink all night, to be honest. So that was good fun. I was actually planning on doing a big Europe trip this year because I've never done a European summer. But all this coronavirus stuff's, obviously that won't happen. But I was going to spend a couple of months and travel in Europe this year.
Well, how's that affected the business? We were talking about the business 247.
This is it. Look at that.
Do you want to tell us a bit about it and how has it affected it?
It's affected it pretty big, obviously, because there's no overseas travel and there are no events at the moment, which is what we do. We customize VIP packages to all the major sporting events around the world. Luckily enough, I was in Miami for the Super Bowl just before everything got shut down. We took 32 clients over to Miami for the Super Bowl, which was
how good.
Talking about partying, that's that was a crazy week. Probably can't tell you on air some of the stuff we got up to, but so that was nuts. And obviously, but look, we'll be fine because we don't really have any overheads. So there's just no money coming in at the moment. But once the events kick back in and the travel kicks back in, then we'll be pumping out all the events again and hopefully get on a few more trips myself. So might have to get you on board, Aish, one year.
Oh, yeah.
I was supposed to be in LA at the moment, actually, for the NBA finals. So we're taking a group over to go watch the Lakers in the NBA finals. So
hey, thanks, Corona. That's awesome.
Yeah. Good one,
good mate. Good mate. Hey, Robbie, you clearly have had a stellar career, and you've managed to make it through with. I don't remember reading anything through the press or hearing much through the media of any slip-ups you might have had in the public eye. And you said you go to Bali twice a year, and you managed to do it.
How come you weren't sticking up for a mate then?
Yeah. Like, how have you managed to have your fun time and live your life as well as be a professional rugby league player and stay out of all the shit that seems to be hitting everyone else?
I'm Lebanese. I've got cousins. No one you're not only fighting me, you're fighting the Lebanese community. So it's an intimidation factor, mate.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, mate. It's, I don't know. Like, I love a good time. Aish will tell you I love a drink and
sure do.
I love a good time, mate. But I guess I always try to keep my head on my shoulders and try and do the right thing when I can, and especially when you're out in the public eye, mate. I think as footy players, we don't like it, but there's someone always watching, and you are a role model, and you just got to do the right thing. And the way I saw it, mate, was I got 3 older brothers, so I would have copped the belting if I ever did anything wrong. It's true, but my dad's always big on carrying the family name with respect.
Yeah.
And when everything I did, I tried to do as best I could because I knew it was a reflection of my family, my dad and my mum and my siblings, and so I always just try to do the right thing, mate.
Can I just ask you a bit about that family? Because I wanted to talk before, and you were talking about Lebanon. So when you go, there's extended family back in Lebanon, is there to visit? And how big was that sort of culture and the culture of home when they brought it into the house in Australia?
Yeah, big family. My mum was one of 11 and my dad's one of 9. So, and the majority, all my mum's family are over in Lebanon. It's got 1,000 cousins, so it's just crazy, the extended family over there. And it's weird. I was born here and didn't know too much about Lebanon and things like that. I was there when I was 4, but I don't really remember much about it. Obviously I was a young kid, and then I went over there, actually got picked to play for Lebanon in 2002. It was my first international for Lebanon, and I was 18. And you go there, and I tell people, I got friends that are Lebanese, they've never been there, and I tell them, you got to go, because you go there and it's a place you've never been. It's a place you know nothing about, but you get there and you just have this sense of belonging. It's actually quite like surreal. Like I walked into my dad's village. My dad lives up in the mountain, of a village of about 100 houses, and you just see where your dad grew up, and you see the house he grew up in, and just the way they lived, and it just feels like home. It's weird, It's like it's on the other side of the world, but it just feels like home.
Yeah, well, I suppose there's a lot of stuff that makes sense, eh?
Yeah, man, I love the culture. I love, it's very similar to the Maori culture and the island. It's big on family, big on food, big on respect, and you know, I love so much about it, to be honest. And I've been back 5 or 6 times, and yeah, there's a few problems over there at the moment. So you know, it's politically and that it's always messed up. But it's a country with so much potential, and hopefully I can get back there very soon.
Yeah.
What's the awesome Lebanese dish? Like, is there like a food, like when I go there, like I go, right, can I order the blah, 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 please? What am I getting?
Mate, you get everything. You don't get one. That's the problem with Lebanon, is you sit down and it's just a feast. I'll tell you what, in Lebanon, no, seriously, mate. And in Lebanon, you get, like, you finish your meal and then they bring out about 6 desserts for free and they put it on your table, fruit platters and sweets and biscuits. And like you'll put on 5 kilos in a week, but I love it, mate. The food's absolutely incredible.
That's one thing I said over here when I came here. I said if someone opened a Lebanese shop in New Zealand, it would make an absolute killing.
Mate, I said that. Imagine like a chicken, like an El Jana chicken shop or a waffle or something. Oh, mate, there you go.
Awesome. Yeah, I just can't cook it.
You find me a Kiwi wife, I'll move over there. There you go. And then we open up a Lebanese chicken shop.
Oh, they all heard you now.
Yeah. Coming in.
Hey, we get a whole lot of messages coming in on the stream. If it's all right with you, Robbie, I'd love to be able to ask you some of the questions from some of the people who are watching right now. There's a couple here. One's from Nathan Nipper here that says, if you win, who would have to win the premiership to get that whiskey bottle opened? Anyone playing now that you'd be like, yes, that's who I wanted to win. Let's pop it, or is that whiskey staying till forever?
Is it bigger than an NRL title?
Yeah, I'd have to say, obviously, the Tigers. The Tigers win the premiership. That'll get popped open, 100%.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
Wouldn't be anyone else.
Gavin Gold wants to know what's Robbie's opinion on punishment for the 4 rugby league players that got. Are they being strong enough on the players, and do the NRL need to stamp their foot down on stuff, especially with the situation at the moment going on with COVID-19?
Curfew breakers.
Curfew breakers.
Yeah, it's quite disappointing, to be honest. One, that they did what they did. 2, they put it on social media, which I just don't get. If you are going to do the wrong thing, why announce it to the world? It's just stupid. And then in Nathan Cleary's case, then he's gone and lied about it too when they asked him. So, yeah, look, I think it's just stupid. Like, you know, I don't want to get play the race cut, like things like that. Like they're talking about, it was culturally, then they would, it was a cultural experience and stuff. But look, all of us have cultural things that we're missing out on. You know, I'd love to go have a Lebanese barbecue with all my cousins tomorrow, but we're not allowed. I missed out on Easter, Easter celebrations because there was no mass and there were no gatherings and things like that. So, look, I don't think that's an excuse because we're all in the same boat together. We're all making sacrifices and having to stay home. So, look, I think these boys, look, they just got to do the right thing. They've got to understand that they're not above the law, and we just got to get on with it. And if we want the NRL to come back and play, then they're going to have to abide by the rules, or else if this keeps happening, I'll tell you what, they'll just nip it in the bud straight away. Yeah, well, the public's like, I mean, you just look around at your neighbours. Everyone's watching each other right now. They're like, you know what, I don't get to do the shit I really want to be doing right now. So you don't either. So when people who for me, it's not even that. Like, for me, like my dad's 80 years old, so like I'm not concerned about myself getting crook or, whatever. I'm touch wood. I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm a young, fit guy, and if I got coronavirus, I'm sure I'd beat it. But for me, the risk of passing that on to my father, who's 80 years old, or my nieces and nephews who are young kids, like you just wouldn't take that risk. So that's the concern for me. Yeah, and it annoys you when you can see other people taking those stupid risks and putting everyone else at risk. This one here comes from Andy Rue. He says, are you and Benji still mates that stay in touch? Maybe you could get the King of Whakatane to find you a wife. A New Zealand Kiwi wife. I think you'd be the last person to find me a wife. He's had 15 years. He hasn't found me one. But no, we're still. He only lives down the road, Benji. He's only about 5 minutes drive from me, and I pop into training and see the boys when I can as well. So just get my little fix when I get withdrawals from being retired. I pop down and see the boys, and but I probably don't see Benj as much as I'd like, only because he's got a young boy now, and he's always on daddy duties, and life changes, I guess, when you start to have little children. I haven't found out yet, so
You probably got a couple around the world somewhere, mate.
Benji's going to like kids' parties on a Sunday, and I'm going to the Coogee Pub to get on the beers with the boys. So what do you do?
We can all clock into that boat. We've all been there. Elliot Chow wants to know MJ or LeBron. I'm guessing that means the greatest. Which one did you?
Yeah,
Jordan or LeBron?
Tough one, but Jordan by a whisker.
By a whisker.
Yeah.
What would LeBron need to do to surpass him in your mind? Could he surpass him in your mind?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a generational thing. I actually don't like comparing generations. Like people ask me all the time in league, like who's a better player, you know? And you comparing. I think it's just completely different. I think we just got to appreciate, you know, how good they both are. Yeah, it's like trying to compare Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Well, that's easy.
The arguments all the time. Like, better, you know.
Yeah.
So I think they're both great players, and you just got to appreciate them for what they are. And that's. I don't think we have to choose. Oh, look at that!
Look at that photo.
Talk us through this. Talk us through that.
Oh, mate. I remember I just left. I just left the Tigers the year before, and I was at the Sharks, and I had to train the next day, but there's no way I was missing this 30th birthday.
Oh, wow.
This was unreal. Where was it again? It was in the rocks. Yeah, it had a whole level book. Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Are you Guile? Are you Guile?
Yeah. Can you pick who I am, boys?
You look like a hairdresser.
Yeah.
You look like an Adam Sandler kind of character.
Correct.
You look like Remember the Zohan?
I even had a bottle of fizzy bubbly with me too.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. It was good times.
All right. Well, we're not able to pick who was the greatest basketball player, and that's fine to do that. But who was your inspiration when you were growing up as a young fella and you were watching Code and you're like, man, that's who I want to.
That guy.
That's who I want to be.
Well, growing up actually, because I actually grew up a stone's throw away from Belmore Sports Ground. So as a young kid, I was a Bulldogs fan, and I actually loved Terry Lamb. Terry Lamb was my idol. I still remember the first time I met him. I lined up. He was lining up at they had these old electronic stores over here called Chandler's. I don't know if you had them over in New Zealand. They were called Chandler's, and he had like a store appearance one day, and I remember lining up for like 2 hours just to meet Terry Lamb. And he was my idol, and I absolutely loved him. I'm obviously a big soccer fan too, and a big Liverpool fan. And for me, one of my heroes was Steven Gerrard, who different sport I know, but I just loved everything he represented. And got to meet him one day. He actually got me a ticket to the Champions League final last year too, which is absolutely crazy. Yeah, flew over to Madrid for the Champions League final, and everyone's like, "Oh, how'd you get your ticket?" I'm like, Steven Gerrard got me a ticket.
Stevie G. Got us a ticket.
Hey, well, I know you're tragic. I read somewhere today PSG have been awarded the French title.
Yeah, I saw that.
I can't remember the last time Liverpool won a title, but they're
30 years. Yeah.
That far in front, and this happens.
Yeah.
What would happen?
Well,
what's going to happen?
They got to give it to them. I actually had a ticket. I have a ticket for their last. Well, it's not going to happen anymore. But I had a ticket for their last home game against Chelsea. It would have been the day they lifted the trophy. And then, so before this coronavirus happened, my brother just had a baby boy about 7 months ago, and and he asked me to be the godfather for his baby, and then he's called me one day and he said, mate, we're gonna have to book the christening on the 9th of May, and I said, you can't. He goes, I know, it's the same day as that game. I was supposed to be in England, and I was like, mate, and he's like, mate, he goes, I have to book it that day. I'm sorry. So, and I was like swearing at him. I was like cursing. I had to be here for the christening instead of going over. But now this has happened. I wouldn't be going over anyway. But yeah, look, they're that far in front. If they don't give it to them, it's an absolute joke.
Is it? But we spoke about this last night. We said whoever wins the 2020 NRL, people are just going to go, it's only because of COVID. It's only because this happened. No. Is it tarnished a bit?
How's it, mate? They've lost one game. Even supporters of other teams, I reckon, would want Liverpool to get the trophy. Like they're 22 points in front,
Yeah.
If they didn't get the trophy, it's an absolute joke. So
I just wanted to see
look, if they don't, I'll tell you what, they're absolutely cursed. 30 years, surely something. Surely
because
something.
it's the whole nothing can stop us. What would be the weirdest thing? Like, what's going to happen? A meteor? I think no, or just this.
Exactly.
In fact, an infection's so big that the Pentagon releases video of UFOs and none of us gave a shit. But in 2 days ago, they put it out. Everyone went, yeah, cool, whatever. Yeah, they did. No, sick. Have a Google it.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't know what these are. And everyone's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Did you? What was the attraction to Liverpool? Because it seems like who did you see that was like, oh man, that's my team?
No, it was just fan. Like I said, I got 3 older brothers, so they grew up supporting Liverpool. A lot of Aussies supported Liverpool in the late '80s because Craig Johnston was the first Aussie to go play in the English Premier League.
Right, Predator boots, man.
And he played for Liverpool. So my brothers supported them, and then it just got passed down onto me, and then now I'm just a tragic.
Mate, I used to love. Faf used to take me to this bar called Cheers in the city, and we used to walk downstairs. I knew enough. I hardly knew anything about soccer. I knew the teams, didn't know any songs. We were there at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, chanting songs. I'm like mumbling words, like trying to sing along, and everyone's singing and clapping. I'm like, the best atmosphere though.
And the boys knew if Liverpool lost, they checked the scores in the morning. If Liverpool lost and I come into training, everyone was like, "Oh, don't talk to Faf today. He'll be angry."
Any other sports that you would have played if you had the chance to? If you had it all over again? I mean, you obviously rugby league is in the heart and the blood, but anything else you would have given a thrash?
Yeah, mate, I was a kid that played every sport. Mate, my dream as a kid, to be honest, was to actually grow up and be a tennis player. So that was the first. Yeah. I remember sitting there with my mum late at night watching Wimbledon on TV, and I used to love Boris Becker. He was like my favorite tennis player. And the first, I used to get coaching, like tennis coaching, as a kid from like the age of about 7. Did that for about 3 years, and then one of my mates from school was like, "Come down, play some footy." Started enjoying that a bit more because it was a team sport, and I was around my friends. Whereas tennis, you're just on your own. So I played rep footy and rep cricket. So I was a cricketer as well. So I played rep cricket till the age of 16, and then had to choose. And I was obviously thought I was better at footy. So I gave that a crack and gave up the cricket.
What were you in cricket?
Cricket would have been. I was a batter. Yeah, it was like an opening batter or first drop. Cricket would have been good if you get a start in the IPL.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
something.
Were you a goal-orientated dude? Growing up, like for you, were you like, okay, this is my goal, this is where it is, and if so, what's the goal from here?
Yeah, I was and Ace will tell you, I'm a pretty stubborn sort of bloke. So you tell me I can't do something, I'll prove you wrong. And
you can't get us to Super Bowl.
Yeah. I can for about 15 grand.
I like that.
Yeah, so mate, I had brothers that were just always big. It was just tough love, you know. It was tough love as a young kid. It was like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're crap, whatever. And it was just my sole purpose in life was to prove my brothers wrong, pretty much. So I was pretty determined and set myself a lot of goals. Like my goal was to play. So true story was so I made a bet with my brother. I said, mate, I'll play NRL as a teenager. And he just laughed at me. He said, "It's not going to happen, whatever." I said, "I'll bet you $1,000. And so he bet me $1,000. And the morning I found out I was making my debut, it was Saturday morning at Captain's Run at Leichhardt. And first person I called was my brother. And I rang him straight away. He answered. I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, No. He goes, "Oh, just whatever." He said, "I'm at home." I said, "Mate, you better get down to the bank." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "You owe me $1,000. And he just goes, "Am I allowed to swear?" Yeah. He goes, "Fuck off." And I said, "Mate," "I'm playing tomorrow. Go get my $1,000." And that was it. And I hung up. And that was it. So it was a dead set the first person I called because I was just that determined to prove him wrong. And the minute I found out I was playing, I thought, I'm calling my brother just to stick it up him. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And where to from here? Like for you, what have you got a goal to what you want to achieve post rugby league?
No, right now, no. To be honest, I just wanted to use this year as a just to enjoy a bit of time off, and I'm really enjoying it because, and Ace will tell you, as a footy player, you're so structured. You got someone telling you what to do, when to do it. You know, your whole life revolves around league. You know, your diet, your sleep, your injuries, your stretching, you name it. You know, so for me, I just want to kick back this year and just kind of just refresh the batteries and then because I really don't know what my passion is. Footy was always my passion. It's something I did for over 2/3 of my life. So, it'll probably take me a bit of time to figure out, what my next passion is going to be. But I'm definitely in no rush, and I've got a lot of single malt whiskey to get through before that happens.
Would you go back to footy then? Would you go coach? You got a first here.
They're singing.
Singy, out for a night out.
Hey guys.
Hey buddy.
Hey,
Hey, turn off the stove too before I burn the house down. I got my dinner on the stove.
sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know if I've got the temperament for coaching, to be honest. As I'm a bit of a stresshead, I got a bit of a short fuse too. So I don't know how I'd go with coaching. But I'll definitely get back involved. I'll be part of the Tigers next year. Everyone knows I've got that ambassador role that they got in trouble for a couple of years ago. But so I'll take that up next year. As I said, I wanted a year off this year just to get away from footy. Refresh the batteries a bit, and then I'll get back into it next year.
That's also. Hey, we got more questions coming in, and I won't be able to get through all of them before because you got to go and get your dinner shortly. But this one here comes from Mike Craig, obviously a large Kiwi audience listening right now or watching. Can you name the top 5 Kiwis you've played with or against? Who are your top 5 Kiwis?
Ooh.
Make us feel all warm inside as Kiwis going, we love that guy.
That's a tough one.
Maybe not 5 if you can't think that many.
Yeah, 5's a lot there.
Come on, Mike. Give him a break. He's relaxing.
Obviously Benji. He'd be obviously number 1 if not in the top 3. I played against Ruben Wiki as well. He was as tough as they come. Ruben Wiki. David Kidwell, I think I played against early in my career, and he was just another. He was a bad man. He was a very bad man. And then Isaac Luke, I've had some good battles against Isaac Luke too. Obviously, same position, probably similar age. We probably played each other I reckon 30 odd times. So. Yeah, how many is that? Is that 4 or 5?
That's 4.
It's good.
That's a good effort.
No, it's good.
That's all right.
Yeah, that was
really
good.
Fats, grand final winner.
Yeah, Fatsy. Yeah, Paul Fatawira, premiership winner. He's one of the greats. Fatsy, legend of a bloke too. One of the best blokes you'll meet.
And what was Aish like as a teammate? We know what he's like as a drinking co-host, but
before, and I said footy. Your sleep and everything revolves around footy. Diet was not one of them for Aish. I still remember we used to go down. My memory of Aish, so we'd go down to Burwood Westfield, just down the road from training. There was like a big Westfield shopping centre, and we'd go get lunch, and I'd get some sushi or I'd get like a salad roll or something for lunch. Aish should go to the kebab shop and get a snack pack, which was like the kebab meat drowned in like barbecue sauce and the
mayonnaise,
and hot chips. That was just like that was his lunch. And I was just looking at him. I said, "Mate, how are you a professional footballer?"
Worked for a little bit. I soon got found out really fast.
Nah, I'll tell you what, mate. He was one of the most natural movers I reckon I've ever seen. So, you could move for a big fella.
I reckon we should.
I got asked. Just before I got asked the other day, and Aish will agree. You look back at your career and special teams you played with, and 2005 was obviously a special team I played with. But then I look back, and Aish will tell you the team we had in like 2010 and 11, and the group we had with Aish and Benji, Chris Hynton, Bo Ryan, Tim Molson, Lottie Takiri, and
Gazza and all them.
And our parents would all come to the games, and they'd all socialise together, and we'd all socialise together, and that group, we've still got a very special bond, and we're still great mates to this day, and it's a special time in my career I look back on with those boys.
Mate, I still every time I get asked, I go, I still don't know how we didn't win a comp one of those years. It's just one of those things that itches at me. But the good thing about that team, like I think it got brought up, I don't know, on this or another show about culture. And like with that team, no matter what day we played, we always went out the night after.
Yeah.
So we'd play it back then. They used to have Monday night. We'd go out on a Tuesday night. and come out and play that next weekend, win. Then we go Friday night, we go Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
It'd just be like unreal for the best time.
I'll tell you, have we got time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man, go, absolutely.
I'll tell you a funny story. Aisha, I don't know if you remember this. So we were on like this,
Probably not.
5 or 6 game losing streak, and then we had this crisis meeting. We had to go up to Townsville the next week to play. It was a tough place to go. And went up to Townsville. We had this awesome win. Got a win, and then we were going out that night, and Sheensy's like, all right, 1 a.m. curfew. Got to be back at 1 a.m. So we all go out, and it was like 1 a.m. came, and the boys come up to me. They're like, because I was the captain, the boys are like, Faf, we can't go back to the hotel. I said, listen, just everyone get back to the hotel, because Sheens used to get our assistant coaches to sit in the lobby and like tick your name off as you got back. Yeah. I got all the boys. I said, boys, just trust me. Let's go back. Got everyone back in the hotel. The coaches saw us, and I grabbed our assistant coach and our team manager. I said, listen, I said, you saw us get back in the hotel. I said, I'm taking the boys back out. You don't know a thing about it. You just don't worry about it. I said 1 in all. They're like, all right, sweet. So we all go back out till like 6 in the morning, right? Oh, yeah. The whole team. We come back at 6. The boys are plastered. They're making noise in the hallways and that. Our Sheensy hears us, like wakes up and hears us, so he knows everyone's been drinking. So we get to training on the Monday, and I get tipped off by our team manager, and he says, mate, Sheensy's going to ask who broke curfew. I said, all right. So I grabbed the boys. I said, listen, when Sheensy asks us who broke curfew, I said, no one say a thing. Everyone just stick solid. So the video meeting finishes. And then Sheensy goes, all right, boys, everyone can leave unless you broke curfew in Townsville. I want you to stay. To a man, everyone just stood up and walked out the room. All 30 of us just walked out of the room, and then he couldn't say anything. We all just stuck solid. We all said we made curfew.
Oh, mate.
We ended up winning 8. We won 8 in a row after that, and then made the top 4 and should have won the grand prize.
That says a lot for a team, though, when everyone sticks solid like that. I mean, that's cool. And I guess as a coach, you got to sit there and go, fuck it, like, what can I do about that? The boys are solid right now. And that's
what you need. Do the wrong thing, just do it together.
That's right.
Yep.
Hey, Robbie, thanks so much for your time, man. You're down on whiskey now. We've seen you finish that vessel. You know, we've got you got your food on the stove, so we'll let you go, man. But there has been, the last comment that came through was Daryl Scully saying, make sure you get Robbie back on, please. So
too easy, boys. Anytime.
Come back on. Good on you.
Legend,
top man.
It gives me an excuse
Thanks,
to
brother.
pop open a bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you go, I can't. It's whiskey. I have to.
That's it, eh?
Okay, brother.
Have a good one, eh? See ya.
You know, there's a bit more. I think the next year we went up and we tried to do the same thing, and he put a jersey at the front desk. So whenever we went back say we went back out like we did the year before, when we'd roll back in, the lady would go, "Oh, can you please sign my jersey?" Works behind the front desk. So we all signed it. Next day goes, "If your name's on here," in the room. We're like, fuck. The front desk, the office girl from bloody whatever, Mercure or wherever we stayed. She got us. She got us. Oh, mate.
That's almost that. Is that legal? That's great.
I don't know.
Tim Sheens is the super coach. That's good.
Yeah, he learns from his mistakes, doesn't he?
Far out.
What a hoot, man. What a good dude. Thanks for that's a great get, Blake.
Yeah, well done there. Daniel Vidot will be our guest in just a second. I just thought there was a thing that I saw on the news today that was quite funny. Was apparently they did hold a Madrid Open of tennis. You know how it's supposed to be the French Open sliding around on the clay. They did it on the PlayStation, did it virtually, and the old man won, Andy Murray. Yeah, but he won the semi-final because the guy Schoeman that he was playing against, what kept happening was Murray kept hitting winners, but it was giving points to Schoeman, and Murray like threw his toys down the speaker, and the other guy went, "Actually, you're right. You deserve to be in the final." So Andy Murray got there. So how about that, for the old dudes?
Oh, nice.
He's found his tennis because his leg's buggered, That's
he's done.
He can't do it, mate. So so he is, and Kiki Bertrands, she was the women's champion of it there. So we do have champions of this through there.
Nice. Shall I? So this morning we actually had to interview Daniel Vidot because he's obviously in Miami and the time would be horrendously different. So we will play you guys right now our catch up with Daniel, which was great fun.
Cool. So how good's this? We're going to. I was going to say run up the phone bill, but you don't. We're just on the internet, so it doesn't even matter anymore. It's where we are. But we're going to Florida right now, and this is pretty cool. One of those stories of follow your dreams And I'm thinking you can get greedy here, because what if you follow your dreams and you get in the NRL and you make it there, and then you go, I'm going to have a new dream now, and I'm going to veer off and do something else. And that's what our guest has done right now as we go to Florida. There he is. Daniel Vidot is with us today, mate. How are you?
How you going, bro?
Good. So NRL guy, but now you're a WWE guy. You're a wrestler,
yeah, man. Bit different. But yeah, man, loving the challenge, and yeah, hopefully more to come in the future.
Can I just say, I saw the fight with Sheamus, and I saw you get 1, 2, 3 to the head, and then it was like, ga, 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 ga. How was that, bro?
It was like that. Oh, just gave me some memories of my childhood, bro. But no, good times, man. Obviously, it was an honor to be in the ring with the Celtic Warrior himself. Remember watching him, you know, in the high school days and whatnot, and yeah, to be in the ring with him was a bit of an unreal feeling, bro. But yeah, man, I was just glad to get the opportunity. Obviously, with the pandemic that's going on at the moment, lots of people got cut out of the WWE, which is unfortunate. But man, people like me, I got a chance to show what I got, and yeah, hopefully I delivered.
How did it go down, bro? Did they just come up to you and go, "Oh, look, this is what's going to happen. Sheamus is going to throw you around and just absolutely destroy you," and you're like, "You had to cop it sweet." Like, how's that? Like,
bro, come on, man. It can't be letting up to any secrets here.
Yeah, come on, please. Ask a magician how his trick goes. Come on, man.
Come on, bro. You do need to do that, bro. Nah, it was cool, man. To be honest, it kind of reminded me of my NRL call-up. Obviously, it was a bit different because you don't really have anyone else to blame in the team, but it's just one-on-one. You know what I mean? But no, it was cool, man. It really did. It reminded me of those times back in the Canberra days. But yeah, as I said, man, it was different. Like being out there, just being on your own was a whole different feeling. And you know, obviously with all these cameras at you, bro, you know, over 2 million viewers watching you, it was intense, man. But it was good to have like a legend, like you know, opposite you. So you know, he helped me out through all that stuff, man. And yeah, it was good fun, man. And I'm hungry for more. That's all that I took out of that match, and yeah, looking forward to the future.
So what, you know, like this pre-match, like you get in there, it's the day of it, and you go, okay, was there something in your mind that you were, I don't want to say more nervous about, but just the thing of oh man, I've got to nail this, but just if I get past this, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, man. Obviously, when you start off, you got to pay your dues, man. You can't just run in and jump up the top. You know, even The Rock had to do the same thing. So that was cool, man. You know, I've been real fortunate these past couple years now, man. I'm a year and a half now that I've been doing this. You know, starting to understand the business more and what sports entertainment is all about. And yeah, it's an awesome journey, man. It's 1 minute you're here and you're watching this stuff, you know, growing up, and then the next minute you're doing it and you're learning how to do all the flips and whatnot and stuff like that, and learning how to talk on the camera, which is the most important part. But yeah, man, it's an unreal feeling, man, and I'm looking forward to more opportunities.
I don't know if you've done any live events, you probably have, but like, what was the difference between going out and no one's in the crowd and then going out and there's thousands and thousands of people there, you know, like what was the difference?
Yeah, I think I've done about 60 matches now, live events. So I've worked my way up. But yeah, it was a bit weird, man. There's certain things where you kind of use the crowd's energy. Do you know what I mean? To work certain moments in the match. But bro, it was a nice quick one, and I was in and out, bro. So no, but it was good, man. As I said, bro, you got all these cameras, and you've got someone like that you're in the ring with. So man, that was enough for me. And you know, I just got to keep my head down and keep going and doing what I'm doing. And hopefully I get that chance to, you know, show what I've got.
How many new cousins do you have, bro? Just because we've seen Tua, you know, all the boys, you know, got Tua, yeah, Miami, that's my cousin. Now that you've cracked it, how many new cousins you got?
No, those sad ones, even if they're actually your real cousins, but they never said they were. As soon as you start dropping the ball in the NRL, bro, oh, that's not my cousin. See ya. Oh, what? He's wrestling now. Oh, no, that is my cousin.
Yeah, it is you.
Nah. Nah, bro. To be honest, man, I'm not gonna lie. It was funny. I got a lot of mail, bro. And as you would know, Blake, in the early days when you got the debut and you got just messages off dudes that you haven't talked to for years, and then all of a sudden your best friend and you know, oh, you want a beer? Yeah. Nah, I got heaps of them, bro. Like but man, you know, it just tells you that you're on the right track, bro. And you know, my whole dream was to just to show the haters, you know, like that this could be done. And I just didn't want everyone to think if you're a Polynesian or if you're growing up in Australia, rugby league is the only place where it's at. You know, I just wanted to see what else could be done. And this became a passion of mine. I got the opportunity in 2015. Nigel Vangana hit me up about it. And it's real funny, man. Like, I still remember the talk with Nigel. Yeah, bro, that's where it all started, man. So I was having a chat with him and he was like, oh, so you should have a crack in the, you know, in the WWE. And to be honest, it was a bit of a laugh. We were laughing about it in the hotel there at Cronulla. And I still remember this conversation, man. And I had a little chat with him probably a couple of days ago about this. So it was pretty crazy, man, that things have gone from a conversation to reality. So, yeah, man, I'm just putting my best foot forward, bro, and just hopefully the future brings what I see it as.
So what was the first step after that? Did you just go and like Google WWE? Like, how do you go? I mean, it's cool to have that conversation, but you're there now. Like, when does that step start?
You know, I was a bit lucky compared to a lot of the other auditions and stuff. I kind of went there by myself. I went there for like a 3-day just to see what it was about. But I'd already signed my contract to go to England at the time. But they were still interested to see, you know, what I thought. And, you know, going around the rings and seeing, you know, Triple H, meeting Triple H and William Regal and Shawn Michaels. And I'm like, what the? I'm just sitting in this ring looking at these guys going, far out, man. So I went there, wanted to see what it was all about. And I loved it, man. I thought it was so interesting. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of sacrifices I had to make to do this. But, you know, I knew in the long run that it's something that I wanted to do. So, you know, once my contract finished up with the Gold Coast, I was like, I'm ready, bro. I want something new in my life. I want to do some challenge. I want this. I hate being comfortable. So this came up again. And, you know, when I did the trial, they wanted to make sure that I still could do all the rolls and flips and whatnot. And you have to do tests like promos and stuff like that. It's pretty intense, man. Like everyone's just watching you, and you've got like 50 other people in your group that you've got like ex basketball players. There's someone from the Globetrotters that was there. Like there was some you know, UFC fighters. There was NFL ex-NFL players. Like you just got people from different sides, Cirque du Soleil, and you just with these guys.
They'd be good, man.
Bro, I've met so many people along the way, man. And you just get it given this armband and it has a number on it. My number was 7, so you basically, they had someone in front of you do it, and then you basically had to line up, and, you know, I was the 7th person, but you'd say your name and then you'd do what they tried to do. You know, they'd do a roll or a flip. And bro, that's when you think back to the days with the trampoline, it comes in handy, you know what I mean? So yeah. I was lucky. I was lucky I was that kid back in the day with the cousins trying to chuck everyone off the trampoline and eliminate them out of the Royal Rumble. So it was,
I've just invented something. I've just invented something. And like, I'm giving you 2-minute warning, Blake Ashford. You're going to do your wrestling promo right into the camera, and Daniel's going to rate to see how you go.
Yeah.
I'm doing this game,
awesome.
Daniel, with my kids during lockdown, where what I've been doing is I've been showing them photographs of old 80s wrestlers, because they're 9 years old and 13, right? So 12, and so they're that old. And I go, what do you think this wrestler's name was? And they think about it really hard. Like Hulk Hogan, the little one, thought was called Cheese Boots because of his yellow boots, you know, and like, so they're doing those as well. So I said, what do you reckon this guy, what do you think his name might be? So I put pictures up here, and they thought for you, 2 names they thought of for you one was, what did Darcy say, the 9-year-old? The Skull Reaper. And then there's another one which was the Shark. That as well. So just talk about that whole thing. Just like when you go, right, so I've got to go, I have to have a character and stuff. Like, is there someone that works with you on that or helps you build that up? And were there names you decided not to go with?
Well, obviously, things change, man. So when I got here, I think they got to know me a bit more. And I started off as a heel. Like, you know, I was getting booed at and whatnot, and just trying to be a badass kind of thing. But then they were like, see, they kind of want to act on who you are. All they try to do is multiply you by 10. That's right. All it is, the person you are, and make it by 10. So I went down this other track where I was trying to get all cultural and caveman-y, and I was like, man, this ain't for me. I don't know what to say. I'm just standing in the promo going, oh, these lions or these fucking, and I'm like, what do I say? It doesn't even make sense. So, yeah, man, it became the Untamed at the moment. So that's where I'm at the moment. You know, obviously I'm the type of person that I just wear my heart on my sleeve, and that's all I'm about is like family. That's something that's very close to me. So I'm starting to revolve my character around that. But you know, obviously try and modernize. You know, I just don't want to be the typical dude that's you know, out of the jungle kind of Samoan dude.
They must have done that, right? Was there a guy like, you know, what about, you know, we dress you up, you know, Samoan guy, you got a club, you come out, you're rah, what do you think, Daniel? What do you think? Is there like a guy like that?
Bro, all I can say was thank God that Hobbs and Shaw came out and showed him a new modern way to do it. So man, when that movie came out, bro, I was like, oh, thank God. Like, can you just have a look at this and see how it's modernized, so I can still be me, but still wear the cool stuff, do you know what I mean? The cool gear. And I got the Ni 40, the Samoan Death Tooth out. So, no, man, just trying to be me. Like, I literally dress up how I wrestle, to be honest, at the moment. And we're still working on character things and trying to, you know, see what, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be called Vidot, to be honest. Like, it's most likely going to be something else. But, man, to still get a call up to SmackDown and to say that that's been done, it's an awesome, you know, accomplishment for me.
I did.
Sorry, can I just quickly ask? What did you have do you have any idea what they saw in you? Because we know that, you know, they've cut a lot of people off the books. It's been crazy. Have they ever given you that knowledge to say, hey man, we really like this in you and we can see a real big future in this? Do you know what that was or is?
Man, to be honest, when they offered me the contract, I think that's when they were trying to tell me that there's something special that I've got that they want. So I know that they only sign people that they're really sure about. So you know, I'm thankful as well not to be fired, man, to be furloughed. You know, so obviously I'm doing something right, and they're happy with me. I do know that. Yeah. Obviously, this is the thing, man. Coming from rugby league, our sport is so, man. People no one really know how hard it is, man, to be a NRL player. I'm telling you right now, fitness-wise, I wasn't always the dude at the front, man. I'm telling you, I was the dude at the back. But coming here and going against all the NFL players and whatnot, bro, to be honest, at the tryout, I was like leading it. Wow. I came in here with confidence. Obviously, all that stuff comes into play, all the cardio, all the rolls and stuff. Like, there's a lot of rolling. When I started, I was like, oh, doing all these rolling things. And they basically just wanted to see how coachable I was and how long it took me to learn things. And obviously, being a rugby player, man, sometimes you're just put in these situations where the coach is like, do this, do that. And you have to do it. High school days, I always loved drama and the acting side of things. So, man, to be honest, those two come together.
Yeah.
Sports entertainment, man.
My question was, how different is the training? So, like, you know, NRL, we're like, we've got our set schedule and it's weights almost every day, and then you're on the field and a lot is fitness and then ball skills. But how is it different at that performance center, the training? You know, like, are you doing all different types of stuff on that?
Awesome, man. That's a good question, because that's it. The way I feel about that is how the transition was so smooth for me, bro. Like, it's literally the same thing. We get up, like 7 in the morning, eat, go to the gym. Everything's the same. Instead of the field, it's obviously the ring. Like, literally, that's literally the only difference, bro. Even the programs look the same, like the timetables we get. And I'm just like, but now obviously it's on the phone, which is a bit better than the papers. But things get changed all the time. But the only other difference is obviously you got acting practice. We do that every week. We do promos, learn how to talk to the cameras, we learn what camera's on and how to get the best reaction off certain angles and whatnot. There's so much things that go into it, man. Matches are they're the greatest things, man. Like, because it's all about how you feel in the ring. That's why at the moment it's a bit tough though to not have a crowd, but they're doing an awesome job, man. And to be honest, to actually have my debut in front of no crowd was good to get get that off the bat. So hopefully in the future, man, my nerves will be a lot. To be honest, when I came and did that live SmackDown tour in Australia, I felt a lot more. It felt a lot more natural than doing a performance in front of 50 people. It's weird, man. When you got the whole crowd, it's almost like it just takes over. And obviously being an NRL player or ex-NRL player, I'm used to that kind of feeling. So works well.
Who would be your next dream matchup? I mean, you've already started pretty high in terms of a Seamus, but who would be your ideal? Let's get it on.
Oh man,
you can pick anyone from any age. You can go. You can go back in time if you want to.
Yeah, if you want.
Who would you love to scrap?
Man, to be honest, I'm actually Randy Orton. He's
yeah.
Bro, give me an RKO. I don't care. Like that. That's probably Randy Orton would be the man to verse. But maybe the Undertaker, man. Hopefully you could get it. Like that would be cool, man. I don't know. I don't mind just to get it. Like he's the one that I've always, obviously you got The Rock and Stone Cold, massive personalities like that. But then, the Undertaker, man. He's just the icon, I think, of WWE.
Yeah.
I reckon too. Once you've got a couple of, once you've had a couple of wins under your belt as well, you'll be like, no one RKO's like, no one's getting me. Like I'm making sure I'm doing a finishing move on some of these legends, man. That's going to be a cool sort of tipping point for you in your career as well. Where you're like right now, you're hungry to get in the ring. You're hungry to face off with these really good wrestlers. But there will be a tipping point where you're like, no, fuck that noise. I ain't getting done by anybody anymore. Like, you know what I mean? That's going to be fun to watch.
That's the plan, bro.
Yeah.
Have you got a finishing move yet? Anything?
I can't tell you, but you guys will see it eventually. It'll be cool. But it's good.
Seamus.
I want to know.
It was the block.
If you call it the Mel Meninga mash, it'll get a lot of coverage in the States, in Aussie, I reckon. The Meninga.
Well, you I've seen you good friends with is it Braun Strowman? You real tight with Braun?
Oh wow.
Yeah, Adam. Yeah, Adam's big man. Bro.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah.
Do you train with him as well?
I haven't done a weight session with him yet. Probably only slowed the guy down, but I think soon we're going to go have a session. We were talking about it yesterday, actually. We're thinking about going and do one with the company called Red. I think they're called Redcon or something. Redcon or something like that. Something like that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm sure he's got some tips on him. He was an ex-world strongman.
So well? Why do you get on with him so well? Like, what do you like about him?
Bro, I just like that he's just brutally honest and straightforward. I've always liked people like that have no filter. And that guy definitely has no filter.
He can back it up too, bro.
Oh, definitely, bro. When he gets that crazy look in his eye, you don't want to mess with him, man. But
he's speaking of crazy looks. That's about time Blake gave us the crazy look.
I think it really is. Yeah. I do want to see this promo
because he's done his wrestling background. Here, look at him rub his hands and shit.
Look at him go. No, he's into it. Yeah. Oh, yes. Good. Props are good.
This guy's in the hood now.
Here it comes. Okay, wrestling promo. Okay, wrestling promo audition, Mr. Blake Ashford. Take it away, Blake, in your own time. Go. Rolling.
They call me Dad Body Steve. Now God created Adam and Eve, and they created me, Steve. And I'm here to take my earth back. Who wants some?
Dad Body Steve. So Daniel, give us a review on that.
Oh, bro, I liked it. That was awesome. It brought back memories of the Will Ferrell.
Oh yeah.
Down to my plums. The way you were talking, bro, they got me.
Oh, bro. And that's with no beers under my belt too.
Yeah, that's what you look, bro. You got the look.
Yeah.
Hey man, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We are all over this side of the world, obviously, cheering for you. We want you to do well. We're excited to see how the WW utilize your skill sets, and we wish you nothing but the best, man. We're hoping our kids learn and are cheering for you as well. And we get to play with you on the PlayStation. And that'd be so rad.
Cheers, bro. Yeah, it was good chatting to you guys, and hopefully you got hope all you guys are safe during this time, man.
Yeah.
You too, man.
Let's stay in
brother.
touch,
Yeah,
Dave. We can have one more chat with you when you're, about to do the championship belt fight.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Legend, man.